I have people all the time ask me questions and call me about, Ted, can you desensitize my horse for me? And I'm like, no. Can you break my horse for me? No. Well, what do you mean? Well, those are two terms I just don't like to use. Now, every once in a while I'll say a horse is broke, and that's just out of habit. That's out of a long time. It's just using that word to say a horse has been finished or gentle. He's a broke horse. But you know, back when I was a boy, they used to call breaking a horse. And I think they did. They broke him. They broke his spirit. They broke his emotion. Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that anymore. What I want to do is I want to earn his trust. I want to earn his obedience. And I want to make him special. You know, if you go out here to these hitching rails out here where some of these Amishmen tie their horses up, they stand there like a bunch of zombies. They don't even know why they do what they're doing. And those horses have been broken. They have no emotion. They don't want to be your buddy. They don't want to be your friend. They don't want you to catch them. They've been broken. They're like prisoners in a cell. They don't even know why they're doing what they're doing. Well, see, I want expression in my horse, and I want my horse to have character, and I want him to have personality. Well, if I desensitize him or I break him, I'm not going to have that. So, you know, years ago here we had some of these young folks working here, and they get to watching these kind of franchise commercial clinicians that they're beating on the ground and slapping and carrying on and slapping the ground with some stick with a string on the end of it, desensitizing their horse. And you know, I have a hard time getting through to those folks that, no, that's not what we want to do. I don't want to desensitize him. I want him to have sense. I want him to have expression. I want him to be alert. I want him to look at things and see what they are. You know, if you want to buy some old desensitized, broken jughead that'll walk over a cliff with you, I guess go ahead. But that's not what I want. You know, I want a horse with expression, and I want a horse that when I go down a hill, I let him maneuver that hill, and I let him choose where to put his feet sometimes. And I want him thinking about what we're doing. And I'll show you here in a video or two later on how I want to connect his brain to his feet. He's my work partner. I want him thinking. So I don't want him to be a slave. I want him to be a servant. The difference here in thought process is a slave is somebody that has been desensitized or broken. They do things because they have to and they have no choice. A servant is somebody that thinks about what they're doing, enjoys what they're doing, and they're a craftsman about what they do. If you're a servant, I don't care if you're waiting tables at a restaurant or if you're a servant and you're cleaning a motel room. I mean, we've all been there. Sometimes you go to a motel room and you say, you know, that lady that made this bed knew what she was doing. Or sometimes you go there and it looks like some old, who knows what made that bed. Probably doesn't even make her bed when she gets up at home. Okay? That's the difference between a slave and a servant. And you got to think about why we're doing what we're doing here. And I don't want to sell slaves. I want to sell servants. I want this horse to serve you, and I want him to do it gladly. But in order to do that, I have to get his brain working, and I got to get him functioning. So, you know, this is kind of a controversial subject, and it's all about terminology, but it's also about your attitude toward it, that I do not want to desensitize my horse. I do not want to break him. What I want to do is I want to condition him and prepare him to think right along with me as we move along. So with that in mind, just take that in stride. I'm not trying to say anybody does it better than anybody else, and I'm not trying to create conflict with anybody that uses those terms. It's just that that's what I have found works the best.